We're on our third lesson as we walk through this book by Tony Evans called No More Excuses. And we're doing character studies. We looked at Moses last week. No, we looked at Joseph last week. We looked at Moses the first week. Today we're looking at David. We're looking at David. And today we're going to look at immorality. And how does that play in our sobriety? Wow. And a little deeper, we're talking about sexual immorality. Yeah. There's a word that I like that's used in the Bible, because I just like how it rolls off my tongue. It's called debauchery. Debauchery. Well, that sounds deep, don't it? And old. But it says debauchery is the habitual and unrestrained indulgence of lust and sensuality.
Yeah, that's right.
The habitual.
That's right.
Use. And that's what happens to us. And this right here is not about sex, what we're going to talk about today. I want us to look at how that area of our lives plays into our addiction. Yeah. Because there is a connection between that area of our life called sex and our ability to stay clean.
That's right.
Thank God the camera's on me and I won't ask no direct questions today. But this week, and last week, most of the people in here said that a lot of reasons they're in here today has to do with that area of their lives.
That's right.
So we got to get that area straight.
That's right.
Definition of immorality. Immorality is evil, sinful, otherwise wrong behavior. Immorality is often called wickedness and is a state avoided by good people. I like that. A state avoided by good people.
That's right.
See, good people don't want to be immoral, right?
That's right. That's right.
But us, especially when we're active, we kind of like that, don't we?
That's right.
It says we may liken sex to a fire. I like how Tony Evans describes it. He said a fire in a fireplace is warm and delightful, but if fire gets out of the fireplace, it can burn the house down. The fire of sex has been given to the fireplace of marriage. Once it leaves, someone is going to get burned.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so that's what happened to us. We got burned.
That's right.
Because we couldn't contain that area of our lives. And then we get out there and we get caught up. And then we don't necessarily know what a healthy relationship looks like. And the NA text says it like this: that relationships can be a painful area. Right. And when it says that, it don't just talk about a dating relationship. It's just talking about relationships, period. Whether that's with our friends, with our co-workers, with our family. We have a hard time dealing with relationships because relationships require engaging in healthy feelings. And we don't know how to do that because we get hurt. We get our expectations up high and then people disappoint us and then we don't know what to do. Well, it's no such thing as being in a relationship and don't get hurt. But the thing is, how much pain am I willing to take in this relationship?
Oh my.
I don't have to be abused, but you know what? It just hurts. I was talking to my son this week and I was trying to give him some advice and he said kind of sharply, "I got it, Dad." I said, "Well, cool then. Basically, don't ask me for nothing else." He hurt my feelings because we're in a relationship. And I didn't think he knew what he was talking about. And I still don't think he knew. But he didn't want to hear old man advice. No, I didn't. Some of y'all that got kids, right? Yeah. Sometimes kids don't want to hear old man advice, old women advice. Do it work both ways?
Yes.
Yeah. So, 2 Samuel, we're going to look at 2 Samuel. We're not going to go through the whole chapter, 2 Samuel 11, but we're just going to look at selected verses of this chapter. And here it says, one late afternoon, David got up from taking a nap and was strolling on the roof of the palace. And from his vantage point on the roof, he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was stunningly beautiful. context of this, we talked about this morning, David was supposed to be going to war.
Yeah.
But this was a smaller country that they was going to fight at this time. I don't know what's going on with this thing. And so he decided not to go.
Yeah.
So we said this morning that brother became complacent, right? He started to relax. He started, what somebody said this morning, he became cocky.
That's right.
And we have to be dangerous because one of the cunning enemies of sobriety, it says, is apathy and procrastination. Ain't that what the book say? And so when I become apathetic, become lackadaisical, I started to think I got this. It makes me a little more daring.
That's right.
I don't need to go to no meetings today.
Yeah.
I can ride by there.
Yeah.
I can have just one. Those are the things that complacency makes me do.
That's right.
But what this brother done is once he made this decision, he got up there. I love these three things we're going to talk about here. Since David, first thing David done, the scripture said, he looked. Now, some say, is it a difference between look and look? So how do we look when we see something we like? And when does it become dangerous? You see him? Wow. Then you see him and you admire. So can you admire somebody, their beauty, without being in trouble?
Yes.
You can?
Nope.
You can look at them and not lust.
Nope.
Even if you think they, how y'all say it? Wine. How you say that? Wine. See, I don't even know how to say it. He looked, that brother looked.
Yeah.
Do you know what the next thing he done? That brother thought about it. I think that's where he got in trouble.
Yeah.
That's where it became simple, right?
That's right.
When that brother started to look, then that brother started to think about it.
That's right.
Started romancing in his mind.
That's right.
Then that brother inquired.
Yes, he did.
Who that be?
Yes, he did.
And the issue is, once he done all of that, he got a report, and it wasn't good, but it didn't stop it.
Didn't stop.
And so that's when we get ourselves in trouble. But that's the same thing we do when we get ourselves in trouble with drugs, right? Because relapse mode, the first three things say what? Stop, pray, think it through. So what that brother should have done when he thought about it, he should have thought all the way through and said, you know what? That's somebody wild.
That's right.
I need to leave her alone.
Yeah.
But none of that stopped that brother because he wanted what he wanted.
Yeah.
That's when we get in trouble, you all. So guess what he done next? David sent to ask about her and was told, isn't that Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, and the wife of Uriah the Hittite? So now he knew.
Yeah.
That's the same thing we do in this area of immorality that we do with drugs. I know. We had a brother to tell us he's been dealing with this thing for 30 years. You know what he told us last week? A week before last? He got a revelation that he can't smoke crack.
Wow.
30 years, he got a revelation.
Wow.
Well, we were so excited for him. He said, you know what? I can't smoke crack. 30 years late, pop! Well, that was some funny stuff. Now he mad at me. But guess what? Now that he got all that information, it didn't stop it.
That's right.
How much information, I was telling a group of brothers this week that at some point, we have gotten all of the information that we need about this thing called addiction. And keeping going to treatment centers and all of that stuff. It's not about the information when we come into these places sometimes. Sometimes we just need a safe place to work out what we already know.
That's right.
Because we've already been taught.
That's right.
I stayed clean 18 months and I relapsed and I went into, I guess, a transitional house, I guess is what your sober living house, I guess you would call it. I didn't need the information that they was providing me.
That's right.
I needed a safe place to practice what I already knew.
That's right.
Now some of this is cockiness, what I'm about to say. But I think I knew more than the people that was running.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what? We got 21 people in the program. At least 15 of them know more than me and Miss Jackson.
Wow.
For sure.
Wow.
A couple of them probably know more than Diane.
Wow.
But they yet in the treatment center.
My
Why? Because after you done went to these places, when you're in your 30th treatment center, and you've been in treatment for 20 years straight, you kind of learn some things.
Wow. Wow.
So guess what? You're not in here behind information.
That's right.
You're in here because you won't practice the information you already know.
That's it.
That makes sense?
That's
And so that's what we need to understand. So when that brother got to thinking about that and he thought about it and information came, he didn't do anything once they said, that's that man why.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do with the information you have as you relate to staying sober?
Wow.
I didn't fall off because I didn't know better.
That's right.
I knew I was wrong.
That's right.
I had been convicted by the Holy Spirit as well. God said, don't go see London. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. My pride kicked in. But I didn't go and relapse because I didn't know better.
That's right.
I relapsed because I didn't put the information in place. And y'all, it's only so many of these things that you can go to. This ain't on the paper, but on our objectives, one of the things I've been talking about all week with the brothers is to break the cycle of institutionalization. After a while, we got to learn how to live outside of these institutions.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a while, they just give you. Don't you want to be able to live outside of an institution?
Yeah.
Must be wonderful. Choice is a wonderful thing
That's
when you
right.
can make some choices for yourself.
That's right.
Check this out. Sexual sins blind you to the consequences. Because all you're thinking about at that moment is how it looked, how it must be, right? That's how we get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
He looked, he thought, he inquired. And that will get us in trouble.
That's right.
Not the looking. It's incorrect grammar, but I love it. It's the thoughting that get us in trouble. Right? It's the thought that get us in trouble, ain't it? Yeah, it's the thought.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a new word. Every time you use it, you got to pay me. It's, copyright. It's the thought. But guess what? We do that so much. And we have terms that we use in the rooms. We call it locked and loaded. All that really means is we become obsessed about something. And we can't get around it. Once we get the thought in our mind about something, you can't really move us.
Right.
We're going it almost has to play itself out.
Right.
Because we don't know how to stop and bring ourselves back. Right? You know, it's like talking to a person once that craving has kicked in and that obsession has come in and they said, I'm gonna go get high. You know, all y'all family members done tried to stop us before. And we right at that point. You almost got to get out of the way and say, you know what? I just got to let them go on and finish. And I pray they make it back because there ain't no stopping.
That's right.
I tell the guys all the time when we hold their money. So when I'm giving them their money, I give them a long speech and I go into the safe real slow. And I tell them all the time, I say, you know what? I have no vision that I am going to stop you with this information I'm giving you. I just want to be, when you make it back, I can say I told you so. And I'm trying to mess up your high, so hopefully you'll hear my voice while you're out there doing it. But I know you're going to go. I ain't trying to stop you. My job, huh?
It does work.
It worked. At least you hear me. Yeah, in between your drinking. At the end of the bottle, then I start the less money you have, the louder you hear me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. And so we got to get there and understand that we got to think this thing through to the consequence. Because addicts are consequence-driven people. And guess what? Love tries to minimize consequences. Because that's what it is. Right? You know, when you love somebody, you be like, oh, I want to spare them of this, so I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. But guess what? You got to allow us to suffer the necessary consequences that we need.
That's right.
And it's not your level. This is the thing. This is what's hard for family members. Hard for me. I'm a father. I have 5 children. I got a whole basketball team. And sometimes I try to soften the blow of my children's consequences to my liking, to what's comfortable for me, or what I can stand. Not what they can stand. You know? And so, guess what? As long as I go by what I can stand, they never hit the bottom that they need to hit.
That's right.
And so I gotta let them hit, and addicts have a high threshold for pain.
That's right.
Almost that you just can't even believe it. You be like, I don't even know this person.
Yeah.
How could they go through this?
That's right.
But they can.
Yes, sir.
Go to a homeless person out there on the street and say, come to this institution. They'll tell you, no man, I don't need to go
That's right.
nowhere. What I need you to do is give me some money. You ever try to reason with them, but you be saying like crazy stuff, but reasonable stuff to you, but you're living outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you start trying to apply your logic to their situation, and it ain't the same. It ain't the same. Yeah. We have a high threshold. We can take it.
Yes.
And then after a while, we adapt. And then it says this, and I'm going to carry on. In the NA text, it says that an opening has to be made somehow.
Somehow.
And it says some ugly stuff. It says sometimes it takes a nuclear blast.
That's right.
Or some people have to die.
That's right.
So that others can live.
That's
And that's tough.
That's
And that nuclear blast, you wonder as a loved one saying, what is it going to take to get their attention?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the consequence, same way here. David seen that. David went into doing all kinds of tricky stuff to try to mitigate that. But that brother knew that was that man. Why?
That's right. That's right.
He knew, because they told him.
Yeah.
It says, nothing has stolen more dreams and dashed more hopes, broke up more families, and messed up more people psychologically than their persistence to disregard God's consequences regarding their sexuality.
Wow.
It's that get us in trouble.
Wow.
Especially doing what I do. It's so funny when we said we were going to get women. Now, we done had men here all the time. They didn't give Miss Jackson them no speeches and all that stuff. But when we said, we're going to open up the warm program. Oh, I had to go through 3 or 4 things. They were like, Brother Bussey, are you ready for them to have women here? I'm like, yeah, we're going to have women. No, Brother Bussey, we're going to have women in the program. Are you ready? I'm like, yeah, we're going to have women in the program. Brother Bussey, are you ready? Like, whoa, what are y'all trying to say? But I understood what they were trying to say real clear. Because men get in trouble a lot quicker than women do in these kind of positions. And I sure don't want you people to be the fall of me. Y'all know, right?
Right.
And so we all have to watch out.
Yeah.
Well, that brother didn't watch out.
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it.
David confessed to Nathan, I've sinned against God. Nathan pronounced, yes, but that's not the last word. God forgives your sin. You didn't die. And so when he's trying to let him know that, you know what, you've been forgiven.
Yeah.
You've been forgiven. So number 3, David confessed.
Yeah.
David confessed.
That's right.
We got to find somebody that we can confess.
Yeah.
But it would be real good, y'all, that if we didn't wait till we done what we done,
Yeah.
if we would just go to somebody up front and say, you know what, I'm struggling
Yeah.
with this person.
Yeah.
That's the confession we need.
Yeah.
But we don't want to let nobody know up front. It's all right to be weak. Everybody weak behind somebody.
That's right.
You know, we all got some people that we be, and that don't make you immoral. That don't make you weak. That don't make you anything other than human.
Yeah.
That make you human, right? And you know it when you see it. You know them when they walk in the door. You know when you walk in the door. When you see them, you say, you know what? I'm in trouble.
That's right.
Right? You done this before, right? Well, you knew it? No!
Hey.
Super hurt. Huh? No, she know. She better have her somebody. Run from sexual sin. No other sin is clearly affects the body as this one does. For sexual immorality is a sin against your own body, the Bible says. And that's what it is. It's a sin against us. And that takes most of us out, y'all. The big book says it like this. It says resentment is the #1 offender of drug addicts and alcoholics. And from that stems all spiritual diseases.
Yeah.
I believe a close #2 is this area here.
That's right.
Is this area here. It ain't just about that. We get married for the wrong reasons. We get in relationships for the wrong reasons. All of that. And then we get hurt. But most of it, especially when we are in a faith-based organization like this. Because I see people, they get tied up. They be like, well, I don't want to sin, but I don't have a gift of celibacy. So I'm going to go on and marry him, although I don't know him, so that I can have some sinless sex.
Wow.
And then, I can tell you this right here. Being married to the wrong person is hell on earth.
Amen.
Some of y'all have experienced that, right?
Amen.
Yeah. Get married to the wrong one.
Wow.
That'll make you drink too. Truth about sexual sins. Anyone can commit immorality.
That's right.
Anybody.
That's right.
That's good news.
That's right.
And bad news as well, because guess what? We can all get in trouble. I'm almost through. I love this. Past success is no guarantee of future success.
That's right.
Just because you've been married a long time and you ain't went outside your marriage, that ain't no guarantee.
That's right. That's right.
You know, it's kind of like sobriety. I've been clean 25 years.
Yeah.
If I make it about 30-some more days, I have 26. But that don't mean I can't use.
That's right. That's right.
So funny, I guess it was my 20th. My sobriety date fell, I think, on a Sunday. And so I've been clean 20 years. And so my wife wanted to have my party that Saturday. Which it was a day before, it was on the 4th. My sobriety date is on the 5th. And these people here would not let her have my party. Because they said, we don't know if he's going to fall off tonight. And she was like, well, he been clean 19 years, 364 days.
Yeah.
Surely he going to make it one more day.
Yeah.
I had to wait the whole next week. Because they said, we don't know.
That's right.
He not to fall off tonight.
Yeah.
With the money we going to give him or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they would not let me have my party. What they were saying was this: past success is no guarantee for future success.
That's right. That's right.
And so they didn't let me have it. I think I still got a resentment about that. I think. I remember who them people were, that's for sure. Sin is a choice. Y'all believe that?
Yes.
So you don't just accidentally fall and and all that. So it's a cognitive choice.
That's right.
But check this out then. So once I've gotten all of the information and the tools for sobriety, is using a choice.
Yes.
So why do y'all keep coming back saying you made a mistake and you couldn't help it and all of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You believe that? You believe relapsing is a choice?
Sir.
You believe that? You believe that? So if it's a choice to do it, then if I acquire the tools, I can make the choice not to do it.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all saying that's right?
That's right.
So we ain't on us using no more then.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Not today.
Not today. That's why I love these new groups. They say, no matter what. No matter what. Because you got to kind of figure out what could happen that would make it a valid reason for me to go out and use. And I think we use too many flimsy things as excuses to go out and use.
Wow.
'Cause I don't know what you go and tell the people who love you that was a valid reason for you to go out and use.
Wow.
If it's a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could tell my wife that would be valid and she would say, oh, I understand
Wow.
how you ruined our life and all of this stuff.
Wow.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, baby. I had a flat in my new car.
Wow. Wow.
So I got drunk.
Wow.
That makes sense, right?
No, no.
No?
No, no. Give me the keys.
I was in a meeting just a while ago and somebody hollered at me. That's a reason, right?
Oh, my.
Oh, no, no. They hollered and slapped the table.
Oh, my.
I can't have a beer behind that.
Oh, my.
Come on now. Y'all done used behind less.
Oh, my.
What excuse did you use that was valid last time?
Oh, my.
It's amazing how ain't nothing I can say is valid for me. What was valid for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was valid for you, sister? What excuse did you use?
I got overwhelmed.
She got overwhelmed. What excuse did you use, brother?
My wife called me cheap.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, my.
What excuse did you use, brother?
Anger.
I got mad. What excuse did you use?
Anger.
Got mad. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed too. Because they were right in the middle of their fussing and I had to leave and come over here. They still over there. And I was like, what? So should I go on and go get something to eat or should I go get me a beer?
My, my.
Go get something to eat?
Sit out somewhere.
Sit down somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Immorality always brings consequences. Y'all, what we're supposed to do since we established that we're consequence-driven people, we have to think this thing all the way through till we get to the consequences.
My, my.
And we have to get to the point where we say, this is one of the things that I have, that they told me that didn't make any sense to me. They would try to convince me that I liked treatment
Yeah.
and homelessness in jail.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't. Then they would give me this. They would say, well, you keep going.
Yeah.
So it seems like you like it.
Yeah.
You have the tools not to go, but you go anyway, so you must like it. They was applying logic to the insanity of addiction. And I didn't know how to reason with that.
Yeah.
Because you would think that I liked it because I kept going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would be the most miserable person in the whole center. And the most miserable person in jail. And so miserable, I would make everybody else miserable around me. You know, we got some of them in here. You know, they so miserable here, they make everybody miserable around them. You seen them, man? You be like, man, I'm going to jump off top of church if I have to listen to your sad story one more time. And this your 45th time being in a place like this?
My, my.
Not 45, but 42. But consequences, y'all, we got to think through to the consequences. But also, staying clean has consequences. I'm through. God will forgive. That's the last one.
Amen. Yes, he will.
That's the last one.
Yes, he will.
It says we can't change the past, but past failure is not an excuse for future immorality. If you would get right with God in this area, you have to do like they do in Alcoholics Anonymous and say, "Hi, my name is Obie, and I am a such and such." You know what I'm saying?